Happy Father's Day evening as we welcome you into a track that hopefully is not the next one that goes away. And what I mean by that is the next one that gets torn down and turned into a parking lot or apartment complex or whatever they're doing these kind of days. But we are in Chicago, Chicagoland Speedway, Joliet, Illinois, and we are at race number 15 of the Sim 500 FEG Xfinity Series season. And IKEA right there in the background. Gotta love it. Well, it'll probably become a shopping complex then as I think about it more and more. But tonight, we go racing for the 15th time this season in the Xfinity cars. Tonight from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. Forgive me as I am not 100%. I'll explain here in a few minutes, but we're going to get this through, and we're going to put on a good show here tonight from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. It is the FEG Xfinity Series. 120 laps tonight, 60 halfway point, 79 degrees, 53% humidity. As we will go racing here momentarily in the Sim 500 Xfinity Series season. I am the captain. We appreciate you joining us as practice is about to end here momentarily, and we'll get the green flag in qualifying. And one thing I do want to start kind of pushing is I'm on the air now is being able to show qualifying to you, because I think that's kind of a cool little feature that we can get done here in the technology and stuff that I have in front of me. And as long as I can get on the air on time and things, I don't see why we can't do it. So let's run through our pre-race show and get you ready as we're 2 races away from the playoffs kicking off here in this Xfinity season. Believe it or not already, because remember, the season was shortened quite a bit after some talks and things about the season being 30-something races long. They dropped it to 25 and basically shortened it up before football season were to get here and that kind of thing, and that has allowed us to be where we are now. So here's the points. As we enter tonight, 18 cars make the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you have a win or if you don't have a win. It matters if you're in the top 18. So as you look down there, the postman, Charles Woods, he is the guy on the bubble right now. As you see, he's got a lead of all of 4 points before E.J. O'Rourke, who is the Daytona winner, is sitting right there with him. Actually, 12 points, I should say, if I can learn how to count. 1 point separating he and Ron Holyfield. Jeff Ryan, if he can get a couple good runs together, he's got a shot there. Of course, Doug Sigmund, Joey Jatina, all those cars are right there within the number to get to Charles Woods. And I stopped at 26th place David Comstock, because if you're more than 80 points back, you're more than likely out of the playoffs when it comes down to it, because of field size and that kind of thing. So David Comstock right now is living on the edge, but by the end of this evening, we could be marking this all the way down to about the 20th position and only having a couple cars going to Daytona next week with a chance of making the FEG Xfinity Series playoffs. Now, one battle that goes all season long is that chance to win the direct drive wheel from Fanatec. Of course, Josh Adams still leads by 2 laps over Chad Coleman. Charles Woods is now 3rd. Daniel Falkingham now 4th. And Tommy Ryan 5th. Yes, you notice some changes there. Chuck Sweeting down the board, unfortunately, after last week. So we've had some changes in the board after Kentucky last week. So anything can happen as we continue on in this Ford Entertainment Group season, getting ready for the playoffs here momentarily. As we talked about, the Ford Entertainment Group, if you've never heard of them, they do a great job on computers, especially if you're one who likes to race here on iRacing. But if you're one that also likes to do some flying and stuff like that, they are here to take care of you also. Make sure you do take care of the Ford Entertainment Group, because they specialize in over 3,500 PCs built for sim racers and sim flight pilots. All FEG PCs come with a front-to-back warranty on every part, as well as free labor. Everything is covered PC. Forgive me, you're going to hear me shut my mic off periodically as I cough and things like that. So that's just part of the battle I got to do this evening. All right, qualifying is underway, so let's get on the track here, and let's find somebody to qualify with. Let's start with Josh Adams, shall we? Of course, they all do qualifying at once, so I'm just going to do my best to pick a driver, and we'll get out there. And you'll also see the qualifying times there at the bottom of the screen. as Adams starts his lap right now. 18 degrees of bank. Oh, a little bobble there. Very worn out surface. And you see the straightaway's not so straight on the backstretch. The surface, the original from 2001, when the track was originally built. And across the line, Adams actually still has the faster lap at 31.68. He outruns Crumry by 4 100ths right now. Let's jump up to this guy here. That's Pedro Mojica, the guy who's been pretty dominant, along with Daniel Falkingham on the ovals this season. Pedro to the top, 31.38. That's weird. Charles Woods up to third, 31.61. And now Daniel on track here in the 39 car. DJ O'Rourke on track. Also right now, Chad Coleman, Jeff Ryan. Tyler Dalton up to second, 31.38. He actually ties Pedro Mojica's lap. I think this could be more of a throwaway lap for Daniel. Runs 31.67 lap one. Let's see what he does lap two. Let's turn the audio for the cars on, shall we? Down the back straightaway to turn number 3. Puts it right down on that white line. Very bumpy, as I mentioned. Puts the car in the all. Obviously gets a little out of shape. See if he brings it down to the apron. It's purple right now. You see it there. Third, 31.39. 1/100th off. And Campbell runs a 41, so a lot of people right on top of another time-wise. And I don't understand why the board is doing what it's doing to me. Like on my screen, it's actually showing it right, but on your screen, it's not showing it right. All right, who is left to qualify out there right now? We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly about 10 cars that have not come to pit or not come out on the track yet. Jeff Ryan completing his lap. Either way, that's it. So pole sitter going to be Pedro Mojica tonight, as we finish up qualifying just like that. And we got a little 1 minute of everybody get out on the track, find your pit stall part of the race. And we'll actually take this minute step away for a quick break, and we'll come back and get you the race here from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. It is the FEG Xfinity Series, Sim 500 on the Captain Esports Network.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
And just like that, the minute of fame everybody gets, called the warm-up, is done, and we get ready to go racing. Again, 120 laps tonight on this 1.5 mile surface. As the cars get on the grid, and we show you the starting lineup here for race number 15, if I can hit the right graphic, of the series. Pedro Mojica on the pole once again as he pretty much ties Tyler Dalton for the pole. So congratulations to the Texas driver. He'll start P1 alongside Tyler Dalton. Daniel Falkingham, Glenn Campbell will start in row number 2. E.J. O'Rourke and Josh Adams, the Ohio driver, in row number 3. Row 4, Eric Arnold. Good qualifying effort for him. Mike Mondesi also in the 8th position. Kevin DeBrown and Jimmy Coleman there. They'll take row number 5. Bob Gillenwater and Chad Coleman in row number 6. Row 7 is where you'll see the boss man, Joey Jatina. He'll start next to Anthony Calantoni there in the 14th position. Randy Yoakum, Jeff Ryan. They'll take row 8. Tom Dreiling, Charles Woods, the Bubble Boy. We can almost call him that now. Sitting there in the 18th position. Paul Crumry, Bobby Wetzel in row 10. Row 11, John Mustin Jr., Stoney Benefield. There in the 11th and 12th, or 11th row, 21st and 22nd positions. Gerald Livingston, Richard Beasley there, row number 12. Bentley Glazier, Chuck Sweeting, row 13. Row 14, Josh Parker, Steve Herring, Kevin England, and Ron Holyfield. Doug Sigmund, Brian Wortman in row 16. And that will complete the grid of 32 drivers to roll out. All right, so long story short, I haven't had a chance to explain it too much. I did in chat over on the website on Facebook and stuff. But, yeah, I was actually diagnosed with COVID Thursday. I'm actually feeling better today than I did Thursday, but still feeling some pretty good symptoms here. One of them, obviously, congesting in the nose area, so it's causing me to sound terrible. But we're going to fight through it and still get this broadcast on, as we always do. On a Sunday night here on the Captain Esports Network. Pace car is in. The car's lined up like grandma's onions as we're green at Chicago. Everybody's sorting through the field, getting themselves into a rhythm. As off turn 4 it will be. Those top two, as we usually have seen them, Daniel Falkingham and Pedro Mojica. Mojica leading lap 1 though. Of course, as always, the cameras you see tonight on the Captain Esports Network, presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and also in the iRacing forums. Their website, though, is TrackCams22.com. Closest thing to real-life cameras you will see here on the Captain Esports Network. Back here, Anthony Calantoni already moving to the top side here, second groove. Going to try to work the 38 car of Coleman there. Well, he's going to continue his momentum here. Try to get the outside of Jatina also. This track is going to be very heavy tire wear wise, so you got to be careful. Tire wear will fall off. And you want to be able to make it to the 50 lap mark or so, because you will probably not be able to make it to the halfway point on the sets of tires you're on right here. So the question is, do you go as long as you can before you change tires? Do you split the race in threes? A lot of good questions there. As you see Tom Dryland, the iRacers Lounge, number 23, inside of Randy Oakham in the 8 car. Of course, I sit here as we watch the start of this race, and I think of all the memories of racing at this track. All the great NASCAR and IndyCar races that we had here. And yet the talks of this track not existing anymore. Well, Mojica's led so far every lap. 5/10 up on Falkingham. You got Tyler Dalton right there in third. And we got this fight as Josh Parker does his usual winding through the field. Paul Crumry there in front of him. And Jeff Ryan chopping down on Beasley there a little bit. Maybe thought he was clear there for a second. Didn't see the 10 show up there in the picture. And Beasley almost taking that spot away. But one thing I did hear a lot about is handling in this race, because a lot of the cars were very loose out in clean air, but once they got behind these others, kind of got tight. Which then I heard the difference of driving on your rear to driving on your front, which some people didn't like too much. Arnold looking to get underneath there, the 44 of Campbell. That's 5th. And then Kevin DeBrown actually going to pounce to the outside here. Here we see that high line come to work, and Kevin's going to take the position away, actually, with Josh Adams there behind him in the 8th position. There's that pass going on, and we still got this battle back here with these 3 fellas, 4 we can call them actually now. As they try to work around the 8 of Randy Oakham here. We rival Parker in the 81 car. The Hunt Brothers Ford. And you see Crumry there in the 15. Sliding through and getting loose right in front of the 81. And he has to save another car in the grass too with him. Calantoni. Both of them save it, so no caution. There's Crumry right there, and you see Calantoni right in front of him. So both of them almost taking trips through the grass. I know Anthony actually did, but both of them were able to save it, and no caution because of it. Bentley Glazier there in the 18 car, now outside of Beasley. As I mentioned, you see Jeff Ryan in front of him. There's Parker, and then Randy Oakham in the 8. You see Chuck Sweeting there in the 57. Had a terrible race last week at Kentucky, hopefully to get his season back on track. As here we see Kevin DeBrown starting to put pressure on the 44 now. A very tough track to pass at here. With the worn out grooves and stuff, it just so tricky. Mike Mondesi, Jimmy Coleman back here. Chad Coleman behind him. And of course, you got the boss man, Joey Jettina, as we ride with him. That's Turner Supply Company number 14. You got to roll into that throttle, keep the back end under you, because you can easily spin out the car here if you get it to drive in on its right rear. You can hurt the right fronts by sliding it up the track. There's so many different ways you can drive your car. Here you see Chad sliding underneath Jimmy Coleman. That's the 11th position being changed there. Everybody else sort of single file. There's your leader, Mojica, 9/10 of a second over Daniel Falkingham right now. And then they got about 2/10 or so back to Tyler Dalton. Third position for him. EJ O'Rourke there at fourth. EJ needs a big run tonight to get himself potentially back into that playoff run. As Josh Adams into the picture, that Best Buy car. You got the Racing Pride 93 there, Kevin DeBrown. And then 31 of Eric Arnold. Good start here so far at Chicagoland Speedway. Of course, this track built back in 2001, as I mentioned, it was added on to the schedule along with Kansas Speedway the same season. Had the same surface every year and was raced on all the way until pretty much the pandemic hit, and then we haven't been back. Now, unfortunately, I've heard things that this track has been sold and could be demolished, to it could come back, to all these different things. It's actually one of the rare tracks I've had a chance to go to and watch a race. And you know what? It's out in the middle of nowhere a little bit, but you know what? You know, they're wanting to put a street circuit in downtown Chicago. You've got a track built already. Watching Chad Coleman battle with the 6 of Mike Mondesi. That's the 10th position right there. Bob Gillenwater in front of them. Chad putting all types of pressure on right now. And not to be the one to spoil things, but there's starting to be a battle for the lead maybe, potentially here very shortly. As we watch this fight, we watch Bobby G inside of Eric Arnold. We see Josh Adams inside Kevin DeBrown. Track starting to kind of spread out now with the worn tires coming into play, which again brings into pit strategies. Do you come to pit road at lap 40, get yourself a new set of tires? Do you wait and run out as far as you can, knowing that there are bonus points at lap 60? A lot of different moves to be decided. I would likely take the early one because I'm a fan of getting to new tires as quick as I can. Yeah, it might hurt me in the long run, but I'm going to try to get every point that I can get as these two continue to battle it out. Hey, Eric, Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. We can hear the car sliding. said he did. You see, he did clear the 4 car right there behind him now, and you see the 6 still under attack for the 38. He's running the boards now. Here we go. I said it was starting to shape up, and here comes Daniel. It's usually the other way around, but now this 39 is going to put some pressure on the 58. Oh, I see Pedro sliding up a little bit there. Opens the door for the 39 down the straightaway here. I'm having a feeling that Daniel might have took some notes from Pedro recently. Gets loose again. Look at that. He's swatting flies. Just seems like Pedro's a little more free off the corner. It's going to allow Tyler Dalton to slide in here in a second. I'm just sitting there watching. He's down on that door trying to keep him free, trying to lock him down. We can just hear Pedro just sliding off the corner. But Daniel's not able to complete the pass because he's not able to turn the wheel all the way off. Sends it into 3. Can he clear him here? He's got him. So Daniel to the lead, lap 29, or lap 30 we'll call it. First lead change of the night. Meanwhile back here we got Coleman's battling each other. We got Adams and Campbell. A bunch of battles everywhere. Just a matter of when we will see these cars on pit road. And I'm gonna step away for a quick second here. Just give me a quick drink. And come back, and we'll get you the first round of pit stops. It's the FEG Xfinity Series here from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway on the Captain Esports Network.
This is the world's premier online racing simulation. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat from your home computer with the most realistic online motorsports experience you'll find anywhere. Race virtually in the world's biggest events with officially licensed series, cars, and tracks. From the high banks of Daytona to the blistering speeds of Indianapolis, the dirt of Eldora to the world's most legendary road courses. It's all here, and with more than 180,000 people just like you already driving, you'll always have someone to race. Ready to get behind the wheel? Sign up at iRacing.com to get started.
All right, back we are, the virtual Chicagoland Speedway, 33 laps complete. And we're seeing this dogfight right here. This is about 8th back to 15th or so, all underneath a blanket right here. Easily the best fighting on the track going on between Mondesi, Coleman, Josh Parker, Kevin Brown, Chad Coleman, Joey Jatina, Gillenwater. All these guys in this battle. Eric Arnold up there against the boards trying to keep that high lane rolling. So he stays ahead of Mondesi there. You see Jimmy Coleman. And these cars are out here sliding now. On board the Greer, South Carolina, Kevin DeBrown. John Mustin Jr. made a trip to pit road. He has lost 4 laps. Bobby Wetzel took his car actually behind the wall. He'll be the first retiree of the race. Go back here, Ron Holyfield. He's trying to get around Stoney Benfield for 22nd. Let's see, Paul Crumrye with Brian Wortman back there. But yeah, this is, you're seeing the fight right here. Out of all the battles going on. Josh Parker started all the way back at 27th, as always, starts in the back. And tries to climb his way through the field. Oh, Kevin DeBrown hard into the wall. I mean, he hit that wall a ton. And when you hit that wall and the back end swings around with you, that's never good. So Pedro Mejica starting to fall back into the hands now of Tyler Dalton. We got that coming, and then potentially a battle here with E.J. O'Rourke and Glenn Campbell for 4th. And Kevin DeBrown's on pit road now to get that damage fixed. No resets in this series. You get 3 sets of tires. So unfortunately for Kevin, that could be a little bit of required repair on that thing. He hit that wall a ton. That was no kiss. All right, so the window's open now. If anyone's going to try the 2-stop strategy here, this is it. I think if you're anybody here mid-pack, what do you got to lose? Like Mike Mondesi here, he's thinking what I'm thinking. He's going to come to pit road right at lap 40. I wonder if that's going to bring anybody with him. Randy Oakham coming to pit road. I mean, it might not be the winning strategy, but it'll get you potentially the best finish I think possible out there. You outrun some of these guys on older tires. More tires and fuel. Josh Parker's coming in. Jimmy Coleman spins on the pit road. Richard Beasley about missed pit road. And Jimmy's got heavy nose damage now. Oh, somebody he must have got into. Tyler Dalton pitting from third. Glenn Campbell pitting. So this is the crew that are going to go two-stop to the finish. Obviously, if there's no cautions. All right, see if I can go find what happened to to Jimmy Coleman real quick. Because everything happened really, really quickly there. E.J. O'Rourke on pit road now. All right, so I'm going to rewind it here real quick, unfortunately. Somebody else had a slide there. Oh, so he gets to the back of Parker. Oh, and now caution is out. Thank you to my iRacing spotter who I forgot to shut off. So that's what happened there, but Coleman gets into Parker, but caution is out. Gerald Livingston apparently has had issues in a 96 car, backed into the wall or something. And that's the only downfall of this short pitting run. What happened to the 96? Oh, well, no. Him and Doug Sigmund get together. I think Gerald might have been trying to give these guys some room to get on the track, and Doug went down the wow, just unfortunate meeting of the minds. Well, a lot of people are going to be taking wave rounds now because of that. As leader is going to come to pit road. And obviously, the rest of these cars that just came to pit road, Tyler Dalton, Josh Parker, Kevin DeBrown, Glenn Campbell, those guys are going to be all taking wave rounds. Four tires and fuel, and everybody gets away. Wow, wow, wow. All right, so I'm going to step away a quick second here. We'll come back and get you more racing here. We're about 14 laps from the halfway point here on the Captain Esports Network.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
All right. 46 laps in the books. Brian Wortman comes to pit road. He stayed out to lead a lap. And that should cycle everything back around to Daniel Falkingham, who will have the lead. And there are going to be a lot of cars. Actually, I'm kind of curious of how this is going to work now because of Brian staying out. Because normally if all the cars pit, it'll allow everybody to get the wave around. But Brian stayed out. And I'm noticing that Daniel and Pedro have been allowed to pass some cars here. So now it's a matter of who's going to get the wave around and who's not going to get the wave around here when we get the green. As I'm seeing right now, it looks like the one car of Holyfield's going a lap down. Calantoni. So if I'm seeing this right, it looks like from Jimmy Coleman up, we'll get the wave around right now. And they'll cycle back around and join the pack. And then they're going to have to take a second here to sort the field out, which is going to get interesting too. So Beasley's going to get his lap back, and Calantoni will be the first one a lap down now at the 48 lap mark of the race. All right, and as we come to the green flag at lap number 48 here, about 12 laps from the halfway point. That's a good opportunity. Shall we go ahead and turn it up? All right, so the battle is on here. 6 laps to go next time by. Who is going to get the bonus points for leading at the halfway point? 21 cars on the lead lap after the whole shakeup deal, what took place, but a lot of people took advantage of that caution. Stoney Benefield now up to the 7th position right here in that 75 car. Eric Arnold now up to 4th. Chuck Sweeting up to 8th. A lot of people affected. Tyler Dalton, the biggest loser out of that, and now in the 10th position after that caution. Sweeting trying to get around the lap car of Paul Crumry as we watch the battle here. See who wants to get those bonus points the most. Steve Herring is taking his car behind the wall. In the 25. And just outside the top 10, we got this fight going on here. A couple cars that were up front just a little bit ago. Glenn Campbell, E.J. O'Rourke, Joey Jatina. These guys on a little bit older tires with them making green flag pit stops. So what they need is a caution really quickly here. They can try to get back on cycle with the leaders. Oh, trouble, Kevin DeBrown on the back straightaway. He's down in the grass. Somebody else is with him, Glenn Campbell. No caution. As they stayed off the track. We'll get a replay of that here in a second, but right now we're watching the battle for second as Adams climbs the top. Crosses over, goes to the bottom on Mojica. Trying to get whatever points he can get. As you see Gillenwater, he has a modified now, unfortunately. Adams going to make the pass for second. Here comes Eric Arnold. Oh, and here comes Mojica with a crossover. All right, final lap before the halfway point. Oh, both of them in the wall. That'll kill their momentum. Well, once again, the traditional 10 points. At halfway, Daniel Falkingham gets those. Mojica second. Coleman and Adams were close. But back to Tyler Dalton. We'll get your 10 points. 10-1, I should say, as we hit the halfway point in this race. So let's go back now and show the mishap that happened between Campbell and Kevin DeBrown. Kevin gets up in the wall. Not sure if there's contact with he and the 41 there afterwards. But the 93 gets sent down into the 44. And they have nowhere to go and go for a ride. But if you're not patient on the throttle in turn 2, it can easily reach out and grab you. That wall will. And that looks like exactly what happened there. Go back here. Ryan Wertman running 15th right now, having a good run. He got some fresher tires there, and he's going to try to work the high side on Charles Woods. And he's going to make the pass. Nice job, Wertman there, using the fresher tires. Get him some track position here. He comes up on Randy Oakham now. Glenn Campbell on pit road to get that damage fixed. That's going to take a little bit of time, unfortunately, for him. So, of course, now the million-dollar question is going to be swirling in these drivers' heads as they get towards the lap 80 mark, which is about 16 laps away. Do we dare try to pit again? Or do we run this thing out? I mean, it's a 50-50 shot, basically, if you're going to get another caution or not when you try to pit. Let's just be real. Up here for third, Bob Gillenwater inside Josh Adams. Of course, Adams now with a little bit of right side damage from that wall. At Beast TV number 4. Going to make the pass along at the 38 there of Coleman, potentially. Chad might slide into the 4th position here, and he will. Outside of 1 and 2, this caution that came out there right at during those pit stops came right at a point that all the dice got thrown in the Yahtzee can, and it got shook up real well. Chad Coleman there, 4th position with Josh Adams there in 5th now. Got battles going on back here with Joey Jatina, Mike Mondesi, Richard Beasley. It's 11th, 12th, and 13th here. You just see as you're on the throttle in these cars, you're just kind of sliding the rear end, trying to take care of it because you're driving on the right rear basically, and you don't want to spin the car out because then it really makes your right rear very bad. Watch up here. It's Anthony Calantoni, unfortunately for him, is off the lead lap, but you got Stoney Benefield there in that 75. Got about 1 second up on Chuck Sweeting. And Chuck Sweeting has got Tyler Dalton crawling up the back here. Ron Holyfield also a lap down. You see the 81. Josh Parker still in the lead lap in 10th position as John Mustin Jr. comes to pit road. Oh, Parker a little loose up the track there in the 81 car, had to hold on to her. That thing was in a 4-wheel drift just now. As these three continue to battle it out. All right, so these guys went back to racing. Let's see if I can get the math right tonight. I did a broadcast yesterday afternoon. I couldn't get math right if I tried. They all went racing roughly, let's see, 45. They pitted about lap 48 or so. Went back to green flag racing. So we've been going now 48, 72, 45. That's 18 laps. So 18, and of course you got those guys that could come at lap 40, which would put those guys on tires for a little bit. But if I do the math correctly here, these guys should be able to go to about 20 laps to go on this set of tires. So the question again asked is, do you want to be the guy that pits potentially at 40 to go and says, here's the set of tires I'm going to the finish with? Or do you run this tank out and you come in at 20 to go and take tires? Eric Arnold's already coming in to get tires and fuel. And here comes somebody else. That's Josh Adams. So I think your guys that are pitting early are coming now. Who else is Jatina coming in? Mike Modesty. Watch out for that cone. If you do 50 to 55 on a tank, if you went green at 48, 50 and 48 gets you to 98, which gets you to 23 laps, 22 laps to go. So we'll see how this cycle works out if we stay green this time. All right, so Adams, Jatina, and Mondesi right now, the three that have come to pit road with Eric Arnold. So 4 people so far have decided, hey, let's do the early pit stops here. And Josh might be more to fix damage. As Chuck Sweeting under attack from Tyler Dalton. As Dalton makes that pass for position. Now goes after Stoney Benefield, who's right there in front of him, 3/10 up. Tyler just ripping the bottom right on that white line. You just get a little loose there. Check out the speeds here. Jeff Ryan on pit road. At 182 into pit or into turn 1. And so about 180 into turn 3 and 4 as tires start to wear out more and more. Ripple levels here in existence. We'll just call it like it is. All right, Randy Oakham coming to pit road in the 8 car. Jeff Ryan did take 4 tires and fuel, and he pulled away. So let's do some lap comparisons. I'm going to look down and find Joey Jatina right now is the first car on the new tires. Or nope, I bounced back. Josh Adams, first car on new tires here. Josh is right there behind Tyler Dalton. You'll see on the track there. Josh just ran a 32.52 that time by a 32.39. He is about a full second faster than Daniel Falkingham right now. The question is, how long does Daniel and Pedro and Bob Gillenwater and those guys, allow them to push those tires and be faster before they switch over and take the tires. Here comes Beasley on the pit road now. The game of chess has begun. So right now we're looking at the top 13 cars in the field have not pitted yet. Josh Parker to pit road. First one inside the top 10 now. And of course, Jatina and those guys were in the top 10 earlier, but not at the time I believe they pitted. Tires and fuel, and he pulls away. Good stop at a 14.7. This was more the number I expected people to pit at. There's your top two, and you see Bob Gillenwater starting to put pressure on Pedro here. You see that time by a 43 for Adams and a 33.34. So it's still about 9/10 to about a second faster each lap. All right, Tyler Dalton, Chuck Sweden in the pit road now. Right side tires and fuel going on. Looks like both of them had clean entrances. As there's Chuck Sweeting pulling out. Dalton a slower stop on his end, a 15.4. Meanwhile, Bob Gillenwater getting closer and closer to Pedro here. We're about to have a battle for second. As Ron Holyfield, Gerald Livingston come to pit road. Gillenwater, good run off turn two there. Works the draft here to try to get to him. Let's see. I wonder if Pedro's fighting that loose off fight that he had a little bit earlier. Yeah, that car's not staying at the bottom at all. Like, he gets there and it just starts walking. Watch it, it'll get down to this white line, and usually it wants to stick to that line, but it just all of a sudden there, it just starts walking. And you have to be careful how much you hit the throttle then, because it will spin out on you. So next week, the final race of the regular season, and then we'll take the 4th of July off and then come back for the first race of the playoffs. 18 drivers, a chance to go for it. next Sunday it is back to Daytona, where the season began with E.J. O'Rourke going to victory lane. Next Sunday night at 8:45 Eastern Time. And Stoney Benefield with issues. Looks like might have had an issue coming to pit road or something, but he's in. So is Charles Woods. And what I'm noticing now is Josh Adams' lap times are starting to kind of plateau a little bit here with Daniel Falkingham's. Which, if that happens, you eliminate all advantage you had. As Chad Coleman comes to pit road. Final stop here at 30 to go. Oh, E.J. O'Rourke's in the wall up there in the 41. Got very loose there off 2. E.J. right on the border there trying to make the playoffs. He's missed a few races this season, but got himself that win at Daytona. And he goes a lap down now. You see Parker in 81 sliding by here. So you've seen a lot of the guys with newer tires starting to work their way through the field here. After making pit stops here, and again the question comes down to when does the rest of the leaders come to pit road here? A lot of these guys, you're seeing their tires plateau from that earlier pit stop. And now the leader's coming in. Here comes Daniel. Also Pedro Mojica, Bob Gillenwater, all coming in. 25 to go. Four tires and fuel, and everybody pulls away. Pedro actually a slower stop of 15-1, 14-7 for Bob. Daniel 14-9. All right, so the leader now is Brian Wortman here in the 74 car, and I can go ahead and tell you he is going to run his tank out of fuel because that's what Brian Wortman does. The question, though, is how far can he go? Because Wortman can make fuel tanks last forever. I mean, I think of a race at Auto Club Speedway one year where Hank Parker Jr. back in the late 90s, I think it was, won a race on 62 laps of fuel at Auto Club, of all places. So Wortman, Kevin England is second. Josh Parker is now third. Joey Jatina's fourth. Mike Mondesi is fifth. Chad Coleman, these are all the guys that pitted early. Now up ahead of Daniel Falkingham. Oh, by the way, just ran a fast lap of the race. And is going to fly right by Josh Adams for position. The only hope you have here is that a caution does come out, because it does put these other guys back in this race. Oh, Daniel got loose there off 4. He had to jump 3 wide with Dalton and Mondesi. Very interesting to see how these strategies play out. Daniel goes outside line on the 39 or on the 81. And Jimmy Coleman on pit road in the 54. I just saw that. All right, so Daniel's rolled pretty much right through everybody with the tires, except for Chad Coleman, and then the only person who have left to catch is Brian Wortman. And then Daniel or Pedro Mojica is the next person in line, and Pedro's still back here. Oh, and the 81 is spinning off turn 2. Caution is out. Whoa, whoa. I'm saying that for my voice's reason, too, by the way. Second caution comes out. And what happened to the 81 here? Spun it out. Leaders are on pit road. Let's just go there. Race off pit road. Gillenwater, maybe? Actually, Wortman might have won the race off pit road. Bob Gillenwater went 2 tires, it looks like here. 9.7 on pit road. A caution out for Josh Parker. Spinning out in turn 2. Let's talk to somebody. Talk to the guy running in the 3rd position, according to the old ticker here. Talk to Chad Coleman and bring him up here with me here for a second. Chad, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man. Well, you got a shot here now as you're back on tire cycle with everybody. You've got this deadly person there behind you. But you've got a shot here. 16 laps to go to go get a victory.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna see how this restart goes. This restart could be ugly. I think Bob might be on 2 tires, and then I got Daniel and Pedro behind us. So this gonna have to shake out pretty friendly for us in 1 and 2. Them two's been pretty good all day.
Well, the thing is, yeah, it looks like Wortman's on 4. You got Bob on 2, and the rest of them are on 4. So it's like, obviously, yes, let's be real. The other 2 are probably faster. You are behind you. But obviously with the air and the way this track runs and stuff, do you feel any kind of, hey, maybe I can hold these guys off?
We're going to try for sure.
Go make it hard. That back end's going wide.
Yep. This thing's slick. I like the way they've been setting up the servers last couple of races. This hot, slick racetrack's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, good luck out there, buddy. Good to see you up in the top 5 and maybe in victory lane here in a few minutes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. There you go.
Hopefully not in the infield care center.
Yeah, we don't want that. No, we don't need that. Yeah. All right, buddy. Be safe.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You too. Chad Coleman running in the 3rd position. He's that 38 NASCAR right there, you see? So Brian Wortman is taking the outside lane for the restart here. Bob Gillenwater has 2 tires, and he's down on the inside in the 4 car. And then you see Daniel Falkingham, Chad Coleman, and Tyler Dalton. Going to be your top 5. Actually, it's Pedro Mojica, sorry. As we come to the green flag. And I hope I don't lose my voice calling this part. Kind of like I said in yesterday's broadcast at this point. Sorry, voice. Wortman going to bring him to the green flag here with 15 laps to go. And Daniel's going to split him 3 wide here potentially. Bob's going to fight him on the bottom. Oh, they're wrecking in the back in turn 2. E.J. O'Rourke, John Mustian Jr., Callan Tony, Kevin England involved. And the old song starts playing. The cautions breed cautions. Let's see what happens. Kevin loses the back end. Hits the 98 down into, looks like Callan Tony, and then, yeah, the 41 E.J. O'Rourke goes around. It's just the easiest thing to forget about is these cool tires. When you put them on the car, it can get very loose on you. And for Kevin, it's exactly what he did. The back end stepped around on him. Not to mention, he doesn't have the best downforce on the rear right now. All right, so at the caution, Bob Gillenwater, the leader now. So, interesting. Well, while the caution's out, it's the old segment I like to do for the league here. A chance to talk about what they got coming up in the Sim 500 series. Of course, they race every night. There's something going on one of the broadcast channels out there. Of course, we get Sunday nights. Monday night, the 811 North Carolina 811 Cup Series. And they are at Nashville Super Speedway next week. They had a overtime thriller Monday night at Iowa. And it'll be their final week before the summer break and 4th of July. And they'll be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway coming up July 11th. That'll be their next race, race number 19 on their schedule. So, that's the Cup Series. Super Speedway Series, I believe, kicked off this past week. Kevin DeBrown going to victory lane at Daytona. Congratulations to him. That's on the Virtual Racing Network, VRN. They're at Talladega in the trucks, I believe that is, on Tuesday of next week. Then there's the Trans Service Truck Series. They were at Knoxville. Justin Fuller getting himself a dirt win earlier last week. And in Nashville Super Speedway coming up this week. 130 laps there. It'll be their 10th race of the season. That's on the Ghostfire Media channel. Friday Night Thunder, they're at their finale coming up at Daytona next Friday night. Under the lights there, 65 lapper. That'll be on the Extreme Sim TV network next Friday night, so good luck to them on that. And then that brings us back to us, because I believe the Throwback Series is still being worked on. Yeah, it finished up recently, so they're still working on that one. So there you go. What's going on at Sim 500? You can get all that information at Sim 500's website, which is sim500.com, and be a part of their league. Of course, yes, they do have fees and stuff like that, but you can get all the information there, and they'll take care of you. Good people there. I know Joey's even made a comment about me racing one time. I was like, we'll see. Do they not see my videos of me raging? You sure you want me to race? All right, lights on the pace car should go off here, so we'll get one to go. And Bob's going to take the top side. And I think Bob is pulling the IndyCar move. Is he really burning fuel out of the stock car? I'm hearing this engine go high rev, and I'm like, I mean, there's the whole IndyCar, or whatever they call that, cheesing, I guess, so to say. Yeah, there you go. Running at 7,500 right now. I didn't know that worked in a stock car, too. All right. Wrapping up the third caution here. 10 laps to go this time by. Can Gillen Waters' 2 tires hold off the 39 car? Here we go. He gets a good launch. There's Chad Coleman at top side here. So far, so good, and everybody clean off too. Oh, Bob's drifted a little bit. Well, he's going to make a fight for it. Chad Coleman there. Brian Wortman going hard now. 8 to go. Daniel's going to slide up and take it. How clear was he on that? As Coleman's going to slide up there and take second. As Calantoni comes to pit road. Mojica making a pass here for fourth. Going to bring Tyler Dalton with him. I like that move that Bob made. It's not going to win him the race, but what a move. What a chance he took there. As Dalton and Wortman battle for fifth. Jatina into the battle now. Comes Mondesi with him. Oh, Eric Arnold hard into the wall. Gets into Holyfield. And that's going to bring the caution out. . Fourth caution and re-rack him again. We might work into a green-white checker here. Holyfield's down there on that bubble also, by the way. I was looking for Arnold. There he is. Oh, Charles Woods gets in the back of him. Tough break there. Charles Woods is the bubble guy. And cornflakes all over the place. Oh, boy. There's a part of me that is like, all right, obviously you want to see Wortman win this race or do well. He's going to get himself a good finish there. He's always a very clean and smart racer. But, you know, being somebody that's raced with him for years, it's really cool to see him up there with the strategy he pulled. Good to see a lot of these guys up here right now. Chatina, Mike Mondesi with a good run. Richard Beasley up in the top 10. Josh Parker back in the top 10. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a green-white checker. So we got two of those. And nobody's got tires left from my knowledge, so should be nobody pitting, I would think. If so, uh-oh. All right, let's do some checking on points. So I pull up the point standings on the screen here. You look down here to the 18th position. That's the bubble spot right now. Charles Woods had a 4-point lead, or a 12-point lead over E.J. O'Rourke. As I look over at my screen right now, you got Charles Woods had the damage from that incident right there that just happened. He's running 16th. O'Rourke down in 24th right now on pit road. Ron Holyfield was in that wreck. He's 23rd right now. Jeff Ryan runs 14th. But Jeff Ryan's got a pretty big mountain to climb right now. So pretty much anybody less than, I'd say, 40 points from Charles at the end of this race is eliminated. So if you're Joey Jatina, I mean, this is your shot right now to gain as many points as you can on Charles. So, I don't know. I see Comstock, he won't be here tonight, so he'll be out. Jose Gonzalez will be out. Campbell likely out. Where's Doug Sigmund running right now? Sigmund's 23rd. Problem is he's got a 40-point disadvantage to Holyfield there, 20th, so more than likely he's going to be out, unfortunately. And Jeff Ryan likely will be out. I can almost put that in there with math. So, we'll see. It's going to get good. All right, so Daniel Falkingham in the 39 car. Trying to score win number 11 on the season. Chad Coleman trying to pull the upset, become the 5th winner this season. And then, of course, you got the whole field behind him. Pedro Mojica there in 4th. Bob Gillenwater 3rd. Brian Wortman, Tyler Dalton. As we come to the green flag, the first of 2 green-white checkers. Right now, and Chad Coleman spun the tires. And Wortman's off the pace, heading to the back. Wonder if he's out of fuel or something. Off turn 4, 2 wide all the way around the field. White flag out. Final lap from Chicago. And they're 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, contact Pedro and the Bob. And they save it. Well, he's been the dominant one. He's going to do it again. Win number 11. It's Daniel Falkingham at Chicago. And they're wrecking. They do everything they can to beat him. Great effort, great racing. Right now, the only one beating Daniel's going to be Daniel. He's going to blow the thing up. Why not? And boom goes dynamite. There's always that little delay when it happens. All right, final results. From Chicago, as Daniel wins this thing by 7/10 over Chad Coleman. Gets his best finish of the season. Bob Gillenwater holds on to 3rd. Tyler Dalton 4th, Pedro Mojica 5th, Joey Jatina 6th, Mike Mondesi 7th, Josh Parker 8th, Richard Beasley 9th, and Bentley Glazier gets a top 10 finish. Randy Yoakum 11th, Chuck Sweeting 12th, Jeff Ryan 13th, Tom Dreiling 14th, Kevin DeBrown comes back to 15th, Stoney Benfield 16th, Jimmy Coleman 17th, Josh Adams 18th, and the rest of your field, Eric Arnold 19th, Charles Woods 20th, Ron Holyfield 21st, Doug Sigmund 22nd, Kevin England 23rd, Brian Wortman 24th, and E.J. O'Rourke in the 25th position. Let's go down and talk with some of the drivers. And we'll start with the man with the bold move of the night. We'll start with him. How's that? That's Bobby G here. Takes the 2 tires there under that caution, and man, you almost made it pay off for you tonight, but a great battle, and fought yourself to a 3rd place finish.
Yeah, man, I just, it stuck pretty good. I was loose coming through 1 and 2. I mean, it was a handful, but I got to 3, and it just took off. And that's when Daniel, of course, got to run. I knew it was going to be monumental to try to hold him off anyway. But, yeah, I just rolled the dice. Like I said, it's what a race. Just great. I got to go back and look. Coming off 2 that last lap, I'm not sure if I held my line, got Pedro, he came up into me. If I pinched him, he always races so clean, and hate to do anything to anybody like that. But hopefully, it was just kind of a racing deal.
I would say it is. It's 2 laps to go at that point. We're actually the white flag at that point. So, yeah, I'm sure he's not mad about it. So, but still, great racing out there and a great chance you took there to pull the tire strategy off. But, man, you definitely showed your speed throughout the night.
Yeah, in the long run speed, even there at the end of that run, I'd caught Pedro and I almost forced it to kind of get around him. And I knew pit stops were coming, and I kept watching. And, I would gain a 10th on Daniel. We would even out, and I'd gain a 10th. So, I think I was as fast as he was on that long run. So, hey, that's a win in my book,
There you go, man. Well, hey, great job tonight. Great third-place finish at this very fun and slickery track. And shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, just appreciate the league, Jimmy, and Joey and the Sim 500 gang, and the Mafia, my teammates. We, as always, we worked hard. We got a big crew of all of us in there, and thank those guys so much. The broadcast, hey, Captain Esports, glad that you're along for the ride, and of course, Ford Entertainment Group for sponsoring the league. Like I said, we just can't thank those guys enough. And another big shout out for an interview for Beast TV and all the gang over there at Beast TV. So just, hey, good run, and we appreciate it.
Absolutely, my man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and we will see you next week at Daytona.
Sounds great, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it. Thanks. And Bob Gillenwater finishing in the 3rd position there. Let's see who's going to be happier, him or Chad. We're going to find out here as we bring in the 2nd-place finisher here. The Bulldog, we'll call him, after tonight, as he had to fight his way to get a 2nd-place finish tonight. Chad, great battle there with you and Pedro and Bob, especially there at the end of that race. Man, you had to fight to get that 2nd.
Yeah, it's because I screwed up the restart.
You did kind of spin them.
I spun the tires. Yep.
Well, good.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you got to, doing this stuff with this car especially, you got to be about perfect to beat Daniel. And that was the best shot I had on that restart right there. And, yeah, for the first time in the whole race, it just kind of lit them. It didn't spin them bad. It just lit them just enough.
Now, in fairness, that was the first restart, too, that you were on used tires, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
I was trying to defend you there a little bit. But still, it was a great effort. Talk about those final couple laps, because you were 3 wide at one point for 2nd.
Yeah, I know. When I got the restart right there, Bob got under me, so I held Bob down off of 2, and then Pedro would have a pretty good run, and Pedro got him a good run down off of 4 and down the front straightaway. So I knew we were 3, so I went to the outside and drove it in as hard as I could and slid it off the corner to try to hang on to what I had.
Yeah, it seemed to work out for you, my man. Well, hey, great run tonight. Great 2nd-place finish. Best finish of the season, I believe, for you so far. And a good points night for you. And a good night for the old lap battle there as you continue to fight for that direct drive wheel, the Fanatec there, thanks to the Ford Entertainment Group. So you're still up there to battle for that right now, too. So shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, got to thank, of course, like you just said, got to thank Jeff Scott and the Ford Entertainment Group for sponsoring this deal. And thank Trey Edson for painting my car. And just to Daniel, good race. Pedro, good race. Bob, we all had fun right there. It's fun, like racing these hot racetracks.
There you go, man. Well, great job. It's going to be hot, but at night next week, I assume, in Daytona, so a little different.
Yeah, a little different.
All right, buddy, be safe.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, Chad Coleman finishing in the 2nd position there. And we'll move him down to the old team name. They'll have some fun comedy here in a minute. And let's bring up my... I'm gonna start making deals with him and tell him every time he wins a race, he has to bring something up here to me. Tonight, a bottle of NyQuil will be fine. But anyways, Daniel Falkingham, welcome back to Victory Lane, 11th time. As usual, it's not easy. And, of course, there's always some curveball somewhere. And it came with that caution that came out and, of course, brought everybody back together. And Bob tries 2 tires, and you end up fighting for your life to go win a race.
Yeah, definitely more excited at the end of the race than I wanted it to be, but we still came out on top. So, yeah, it was a fun race. Car actually was pretty fun to drive. Actually was loose. Definitely burned off the right rear a lot, so we actually had a lot of rotation throughout the corner at the start of the race when it was nice and hot. But at the track, cooled down, the track rubbered up, it just got a lot tighter. But honestly, still saving tires, saving their right rear mattered. It mattered a lot. So glad we got out safe. Pedro there, we were much more consistent in the long run where we passed Pedro there.
Right.
And then we were just able to hang on to it from there. Yeah, kind of like roles reversed there from several races ago. But glad my consistency paid off. Glad my tire saving paid off. And glad we were able to kind of control that race most of the time.
Now I'm going to go ask Pedro off the air here in a few minutes. It looked like the biggest difference tonight I saw was his rear end didn't seem in the track on the long run at all.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was the thing of being out front at the start of the race when it was nice and hot, because we found out in practice, like being in the free air, being in the clean air, your right rear was going to burn a lot because your car, it turns so good through the middle of the corner when you're out in clean air. Where I was behind him, I couldn't turn as well, so that actually tightened me up,
right,
where it actually helped my right rear a lot better. So, but I think even if you were in clean air, if you just manage that right rear to an extent, and you can control the sliding, you can control the car, I think it'll be just fine, because I think we did that on the second run. We were up front, but we just saved, and we actually eventually pulled away. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the difference, there was a lot more rubber on the track at that point of the race than it was at the start, but there have been many different factors. But all in all, we figured something out. We executed really well tonight. So, yeah, it was definitely a fun race.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. Welcome to Victory Lane again, and shout out to whoever you like to.
Yes, got to thank January 31st for Survey Left 207 for all they do for all their support. And also got to thank everyone at 500 runs the show, everyone who races each and every week, Ford Entertainment Group for sponsoring the series, all the admins who run the show as well, everyone at Team Name, Chad, Pedro, Kevin, Josh, Beasley, everyone over there, and everyone at North Force Racing. Presley Gilson, whole crew over there, getting ready for Roto Pro in a few weeks for round 2, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Thank you for putting on the broadcast. Shout out to Sim Racing Development as well, our partner at North Force Racing. Thanks to all of them. Check out SRDsetups.com. Thanks to Coleman for painting up my car for me, all the fans who watch the season every week, and friends and family for all their support.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and we'll talk next week.
All right, thanks, Chris. You have a good one.
You too, buddy. Daniel Falkingham, the winner tonight here at the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. Congratulations to him, as always. Congratulations to everybody. Great race tonight. A little bit of drama there. I'm going to have to go do some media investigating after this and go get some NyQuil or whatever. But, man, what a race it was. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I apologize again for my terrible sound tonight. And hopefully you guys were entertained. And I won't say that H word A again. It's like some reason keep saying it. All right. Appreciate Sim 500 for allowing us to be a part of the broadcast each and every week. The Ford Entertainment Group, make sure you go check them out. Of course, they help with the Fanatec CSL Direct Drive wheel that they're giving away to the driver that completes the most laps this season. Ford Entertainment Group, thank you to them for allowing that. Also to the viewers, appreciate you guys watching us each and every Sunday evening here on the Captain Esports Network. And I'm going to go take a break from broadcasting now for a couple days. And get rid of this whole COVID thing and relax myself. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And as always, remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.